Good afternoon. Are you Amy?
I am.
All right, nice to meet you. My name is Rachel Hauk. I'm a social worker here at Public Assistance.
Nice to meet you.
How was your ride over? Did you find our office all right?
I did, thank you.
Good. So today our purpose of our meeting is just for me to kind of get to know you a little bit better, get to know your situation, kind of what's going on. For your role, I just want you to be as open and honest as possible. It just makes the process go a whole lot smoother. And it makes me have the information I need to be able to help you best. Anything that you say today will stay between us. We have a very strict confidentiality policy here. So the only exception would be if you express any harm that is being done to you or to somebody else. Before we continue, how would you like me to address you? Amy, Miss Cup?
Amy is fine.
Amy? All right. And then do you have any questions so far of anything I've said before we get started?
I don't think so, no.
No? Okay, good. So first I would just like you to tell me just what brought you in here today, a little bit about your situation.
Well, my husband just recently passed away.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. And so I'm just having some trouble with the kind of my finances and stuff. My husband always took care of things, and I'm having trouble.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. Is it trouble with keeping up with your mortgage, or just trouble in general?
Yeah, we live on we have a farm. We have a big farm, and you know, now that he's gone and he took care of everything, I can't do it all by myself. And so I'm having trouble making our payments on the house and just not really sure what to do.
Okay. So you're just a little overwhelmed with trying to keep up with mortgages and things like that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me we've talked a little bit about just kind of your situation. Tell me a little bit about what family you have in the area, or what kind of connections you have.
Well, you know, I have a son, and he lives just down the road. You know, but I don't want to bother him. He's got his own farm to take care of, and I don't want to bother him to, you know, I know he would want to help me, but it's just too hard, and he's got enough to do. And then there is, I have a daughter, Emmy. She lives in town, and she's busy. She works, and she has kids herself, and again, I don't want to bother her. And then I have a daughter, Gina, that lives with me. And so, you know, she has to live at home. She's got some disabilities, so she lives with me.
Okay, so your children all live fairly close, but you don't want to have to put that burden on them of asking for help.
Right.
You mentioned your daughter Gina still lives with you with a disability.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, we adopted her when she was little, and she has fetal alcohol syndrome. Are you familiar with that?
I am,
you know, okay, because a lot of times people don't always understand, and so because of her fetal alcohol, she cannot live on her own, and she needs to live with me, and you know, I'll take care of her as long as I can, and that makes it hard because I don't know what options there are, because I know with a lot of senior housing you can't have children living with you or other people and things like that, so I just don't know what our options are. You know, I'd really like to stay on our farm because we've always lived there, and it would just continue to be stability for Gina, but I just don't know what to do. I don't know what our options are.
So you're just a little unsure about what's out there.
Yes.
What kind of options there are.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's good. That's what we do here. We help people understand better what their options might be.
Okay, great.
And so we've talked a little bit about your family and a little bit about your situation. Tell me a little bit now about your financial situation more specifically.
Well, being farmers, we have an income from our farm, that is our income. And my husband was still, able to farm every day, because even though we're older, we're not that old, but he was still farming and bringing in an income with that, and so I am not able to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're gonna do about that income. And then, but we also get he gets a Social Security check, and because he's retired, he had worked also in the, for years at a hospital, so
Okay.
we get his retirement, and then my daughter gets a Social Security check. I don't get any kind of retirement because I always stayed at home,
Okay.
and took care of the children, so, now, let's see, we'll also get his insurance, but, you know, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
And then that's our only income.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me. Sometimes those kind of topics are a little hard to talk about, so
Yeah.
thank you for being very open with me about that. So we talked a little bit about your financial situation and your family, and so kind of to go off more of like your social aspect, tell me a little bit about anything you're involved in the community around you.
Well, I'm very involved in my church,
Okay.
and, you know, we have a sewing club at church
Oh,
that
fun.
that we do,
Yeah.
and I like to knit. Some of them crochet, some of them are quilting, but I like to do the knitting. And then I do that on Wednesdays. On Fridays we play cards.
Okay.
Sevens, I really like that. That's one of my favorite. But we kind of mix it up, and sometimes we play euchre, and so that's on Fridays, and we do both those there at the church. Sometimes we go to somebody's house if it's a special occasion,
Okay.
and then of course on Sundays we go to church.
Yeah. Wow. So you're very, very involved in your church community, which is a
Yes.
great thing. That's wonderful that you have those kind of connections. And so now, as we're kind of wrapping up, just tell me a little bit about what maybe your ideal situation would be coming out of this. Just like what would you look for in an assisted program or?
Well, you know, I want to see if there was assistance so that I could stay in the home,
Okay.
because I think that would be the best for Gina.
Yeah.
And we've always lived on the farm, and I just can't imagine having to lose my home and everything we've known after losing my husband.
Of course.
But I also know maybe I should look at some other options, but you know, it would have to be, because the farm is a lot of responsibility, and I can't really do it myself, so, you know, I could hire somebody, but maybe I should just get a different, like an apartment, but it would have to be something that I could have my daughter with,
Yeah, of
too.
course.
So, I just don't know what the best option is, and I know my kids would help, Emmy and Owen, but I just don't wanna bother them with that.
Mhm. Okay, so staying at home is your preferred option, but you would be willing to move if necessary.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to, but I know that's probably the better.
Okay. So there are several options available to you. I'm gonna go ahead and give you this piece of paper. This just has some more information.
Okay.
And if between now and our next meeting, if you just read over them, just kind of maybe outline maybe which ones you think might work best for you, which ones might maybe you don't want to consider at all. And so, yeah, that just has some more information
Okay.
on that. And then next meeting we can definitely delve into those in more detail based on which ones you think might work best for you.
Okay.
So there are a couple on there that are different mortgage assistance or rent assistance programs that can kind of help you. We might be able to see if that's a possibility. That way you can still stay on the farm but get maybe some help, or maybe be able to stay on most of the farm, at least keep in the house, and so that can help with that. And then there's also some on there about different public housing options that might be available to you should we decide that maybe selling the farm is the best option.
Okay. Okay.
And so yeah, just take a look at those, maybe figure out which ones you think might interest you most or work best for you and Gina. And then we can kind of talk about those next time.
Okay.
Before we go, do you have any questions for me before our next meeting?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. So I can go ahead and walk you out, and I'll give you my business card out there, so that way if you do think of any more questions, feel free to give me a call anytime.
Okay.
It has my office number on there. And yeah, so I will see you next week.
Okay. All right.
Got anything else planned for the day?
No, I think I'm just gonna go home and get the house cleaned up and start going through some more paperwork and just trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah, all right. Well, it was very nice to meet you.
Nice to
and
meet
I'll
you
see
too.
you next week.
Okay, thank you.